How's it going? We're back from a revival. Back into work, really. As much as I love having a holiday, got to work to feed the kids, really, don't we? So, got the gearbox, the shifter end sorted out Friday night. I broke something there, didn't tell you about that. But nothing major, sorted that out. Just went to do the release bearing, and the release bearing was buggered. I'll grab that. So what I normally do is service the pivot point and inside here. This one, and I gave it a spin. See if you guys can hear that. It's rumbly as. So I'm not down with that. Might as well spin it. Found an okay second-hand one in my stash. Nice and greased up. It's pretty new actually. Good second-hand. It's good. I've been in a habit of labeling my second-hand parts. Got Series 4 on it. So it's like Series 4, Series 5 gearbox. But that's quite nice and stiff. Otina is the bro feature, I would say. But I'm not going to text the bro sayings or make up my own. It's like Bill stealing my rotors till I die phrase. Flip. Anyway, that trip was awesome. I really enjoyed myself. Shout out to everyone that come and said hi. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to the bro moving it for life. I think I got your username right. Bloody GC. Your son and your bro come and saying how's it. We really appreciate everyone that takes the time to come meet us and say hi. And I'm really sorry to the people we didn't get time to see. Hate saying that. Gotta stop that. It's worse than swearing. So we'll get this greased up with a bit of Neverseas. That will keep it lubed. And we'll get this gearbox in and get the motor in the car today maybe. Which would be fan-diddly-tastic. Alright, bit of Neverseas on that pivot point there for the clutch fork. And there's a couple on the two fingers, here and here. Just a dab will do it. I usually do both surfaces, but just be careful, you don't want to get carried away with it either. And then usually with these kind of things, I do them from the back. So when you push them on, it carries it through to the front. Ah, man. This shit has a tendency, when you use it, just to get on all over you. I hope you guys are enjoying the vids as much as I'm enjoying making them. It's awesome. I couldn't believe it at Revival how many people come up to us. It just blew my mind. We're in another country without our cars, just us, a couple of lunatics. The amount of people who knew who we were is mind blowing. So you kind of got to feed these together at the same time. Got a bit of slop out there, so I use my trusty ice cream stick to clean that up. You don't want the bearing dry either, you know. Nice and you'll feel it like pop onto that spring, you know. you grab it and you kind of know that it's clicked on to the mushroom head. A lot of the stuff you've got to do by feel and just learn. People like me and Bill who do it all the time kind of make some of it look easy. And it's not. It's all practice. And from the people that have taught us all their tricks. And people like my old boss, Mark Julian, a rotary engine specialist, taught me so much. So I've got a little bit in the spline, not heaps, but just enough to bother me. Some of you will wonder why I work on the ground a lot. That's where my workshop is. The best light's the sunlight. Alright, that's probably, I'll put that up in the car now. Get that in the free. Right, so the motor's ready to go in the hole. It's got a jack underneath the gearbox. We'll see how this goes. So it's down in the hole now. There's a dowel in here that locates them up. One here, one in the bottom corner. Kind of done this that many times. It's just one of those jobs that's just kind of quite easy for me. So I've got a trolley jack underneath the gearbox to lift the gearbox up. And that way, what you do there is push the gearbox up to the firewall as much as you can, then drop the motor down into the hole. One day when I've got a cameraman, I'll film some of that stuff for you fellas. But by myself, yeah, not so easy. Right, this exhaust has to be slipped on before the engine mount. And I remember this from when I took the motor out. So I've got a FC gasket. Yeah, it's got a couple of cracks in it, but that face is good. But the silicone, she'll be right. They're made for the turbo engines, so for this they'll be fine. But I find with the trick of silicone is to use it sparingly. Try not to get carried away with it, and try keep it away from your inside edge. Look, it's not critical, but from what I've seen Bill get away with, I've used these turbo gaskets on NAs quite a bit. Like They won't be good enough for a turbo setup, but I find for my NA stuff that the old ones are fine. What I sometimes do is I just run my finger around that inside bit and just pull a bit away from the edge. Like I said, on this motor, the actual sleeve is over here anyway, so even though it's right next to it, it's nowhere near it. The easy thing to do, I think a lot of the time, is actually just overthinking stuff. Ah, you bitch. Always just catch or something weird, man. Right, and that's why I use gloves. That stuff's yuck and causes cancer, man. Right, so that's my anti-seize. Anything that gets hot or I don't want seizing up, same again. You don't have to go nuts with it because it can bugger up the threads. Gunges them up sometimes. Another set of gloves bites the dust. Dun, 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 dun. Another set of gloves. Some of you will give me crap for using the gloves. But I think the reality of it is, with using a phone as well, it's just faster than cleaning my hands, and I'm not wrecking my phone. So on my exhaust, always just a flat washer and a nut. I don't use springs, they don't need it on exhaust. I only use springs on stuff that's going to vibrate off. These have got so much heat that they expand and lock up. It's way easier with the front bracket off, because I can push the motor over to get this set up. Yeah, that's how bad my OCD is. And sometimes I still put the nuts, the wear mark down. It's just the old panel beaters habit. Alright, now they got some goo under them, and I know it's all going to fit down. I'll get that front bracket back on there. Where'd that end up? Oh, just here. So even this, it's tricky to show you guys. But I usually hook it on that other engine mount first. Kind of get everything lining up. I've got that side all kind of sussed. Now I'm just going to cock the motor there. So I've just got the front stud onto the front cover. Now it just needs an engine mount just going like that a little bit. Yeah, and it's all lined up. So the motor will drop down the whisker now. Yeah. Just leave it there with the weight on the engine crane for a little bit. And just probably get some nuts onto those first. So something that I've been doing lately is just nipping these to firm, and then about an hour later actually tightening them up. And let's, rather than squeeze all the silicone out, man, that was terrible. So yeah, this is probably the only one I actually need to use a spanner on, but I think feel's really important, and if you go off, you learn to feel if stuff's right, you don't wreck as much things like threads and stuff that's actually longer and more painful to fix sometimes. Like sometimes it's just better to take your time. Like, yeah, rattle guns and all that are all good, but you can't, if it's good threads and stuff, it's a bugger all. Probably already tightened them a bit much, but that's all right. All right, we'll take this off and go do the school pickup. So rather than chip the paint, I tore the tape, and it worked too. So this is one of my storage shacks that I've got going on. FC, FD, RX7, whatever. But I just want to show you guys the unglamorous side of hoarding parts. Like, yeah, it might look all good, like there's heaps of cool stuff there or whatever. But there's one rat's nest, right? And here's like the second one. Like, you guys think hoarding parts is all good? There's like another one I've just found. I've already cleaned one up that was over on that shelf of stuff. Yeah, some of this stuff I mostly keep for my own cars. For cars I'm building, or things like that, you know. This is all stuff, all my leftovers. Before you ask, that's for a car. Dude in Australia was asking me about my exhaust in the weekend. You know, how trippy is that? That someone wants to buy that crappy old thing. But it's all just stuff that I've hoarded over the years, you know. I've got up there. Some of you guys might jizz on these. That's hiding in there. It looks like a bit of white writing on those tyres, doesn't it? They're the OG wheels off the burnout car. But where have I got these? So, for all these fellas that keep telling me I'm going to put Modgies on my RX3, those will be the wheels I'll put on my RX3. They're a set of Ray's Engineering 14s with proper jet fitment. So there you have it. I'll do more of a walk around some other time. But I've been collecting parts for a good part of 20 years. Breaking down cars, you know. It's all sorts of crap that you end up with.